Particle of mass m is moving along the x-axis, has a potential energy U of x equals a plus bx square, where a and b are positive constants. It will execute simple harmonic motion with a frequency determined by the value of a and b alone, b alone, ba and mass, b and m. So here potential energy function is given, and that is equal to a plus b x squared. Then how do we calculate frequency of this motion from the potential energy function? So it says that for conservative force, the potential energy is related by minus du by dx is equal to force. This is only true for conservative systems. So if I can find out force from this potential, it is possible for me to calculate omega. So let me do that here. Minus d by dx of what is u? A plus bx squared. So derivative should be taken with respect to x. The first one is constant a, so that is 0, and it is minus 0 plus b is a constant, derivative of x squared is 2x. So we have force F equals minus 2b into x. We also know that the force in simple harmonic oscillator is equal to minus m omega squared x, correct? So from these two equations I can say that m omega squared is equal to 2b. There is x here and x here, so it cancels. M omega squared equals 2b, or omega squared equals 2b by m. So you can answer the question now. The angular frequency depends on b and m alone. So option D is correct. Next question. Displacement of a particle executing SHM is given by the equation y equals phi sine 4t plus pi by 3. If t is the time period and mass of the particle is 2g, that is 2 grams, the kinetic energy of the particle when time is quarter of the time period is given by. They are asking for kinetic energy of the particle. But what is given? The displacement equation is given y equals phi sine 4t plus pi by 3. So comparing this with the standard equation, we can note down the values of omega, which is 4, and phase constant is pi by 3, amplitude is 5, and mass is given. Mass of the body is 2 grams. So you have to convert that into kgs, 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg. Now we know the equation for kinetic energy, which is half mv squared, velocity squared, but here given is displacement function. We can calculate velocity by taking derivative of this displacement. So velocity v equals dy by dt, and that is equal to, here you have the function y. So phi is the amplitude, derivative of sine is cosine of 4t plus pi by 3, and derivative of phase, this argument will be 4 only, as pi by 3 is constant. So it becomes 20 cos of 4t plus pi by 3. But what time we have to calculate velocity? We need velocity at time t equals to 1/4 of the time period. So let's substitute t by 4 in this equation to get velocity v equals 20 cos of 4 into t is 1/4 of the period plus pi by 3. So 4 and 4 cancels. What remains inside is 20 cos t plus pi by 3. So here T is unknown, that can be calculated from the value of omega here. Omega equals to 4, that gives you 2 pi by T equal to 4. So you can say time period of this oscillator T equals to pi by 2. Substitute this value of T. So velocity is therefore 20 cos, the place of T you have to write pi by 2 plus pi by 3. But we know that cos 90 plus theta is minus sin theta. So it will be minus 20 sin pi by 3. What is value of sin pi by 3? Yes, sin pi by 3 is root 3 by 2, that is sin 60. So root 3 by 2, this gives you minus 10 root 3. This is velocity. So now we can write kinetic energy K equals half mv squared. Listen, K equals half into what is the mass? Mass is 2 grams. So 2 into 10 power minus 3 and v squared. V is minus 10 root 3. So 10 root 3 whole square. So these two cancel. 10 power minus 3 and 10 squared is 100 and root 3 squared is 3. So it is 300 into 10 power minus 3, which is 0.3 joules. Option C. Next, potential energy of a simple harmonic oscillator when the particle is halfway to its end point is. E is total energy of this oscillator. So total energy is given. Total energy is E, and we know that total energy of an oscillator is half m omega squared a squared, and it is also given in the problem that the particle is halfway to its end point. That means its displacement is equal to half of the amplitude. They are asking for the potential energy. The expression for potential energy is U equals half k into x squared, and k value is m into omega squared. So half m omega squared x squared. So what is x? X is equal to a by 2. So we get half m omega squared a squared by 4. Call this as equation 1 and this is 2. Divide 2 by 1 will give us u by e equals, you have half m omega squared a squared by 4 whole divided by half m omega squared a squared. So half m omega squared cancels, and also a squared. So we get this to be 1 by 4, or you can write u equals e by 4. Option again it is C. Next question, a simple pendulum is making oscillations with its bob immersed in a liquid of density n times less than density of the bob. That means density of the liquid is n times less than density of the bob. What is its period? They are asking for time period of a pendulum which is inside the liquid, oscillating in a liquid. So let me consider density of bob to be rho, and for liquid sigma. How it is related in this problem? Sigma is equal to rho by n. It is n times less. See, when a body, a solid, is immersed in a liquid, it will experience a force of buoyancy. Therefore, net acceleration on that body will be different from the acceleration due to gravity. So, the total effective force on this pendulum is equal to weight of the pendulum plus force of buoyancy, but this buoyant force is opposite to weight. You can write negative here. What is this force F acting on the body? It is mass of the bob into effective acceleration, that is equal to weight of the bob is mass into acceleration due to gravity at that point, and buoyant force is opposite, it is acting in upward direction. So that is equal to weight of the liquid displaced, mass of the liquid into g. Now we can substitute for this mass in terms of density and volume. If V is the volume of the bob, this mass can be written as volume into density is mass into g prime equals, again mass remains same, rho into V into g, minus you have mass of the liquid, density of the liquid into volume of the liquid. Remember, volume of the displaced liquid is equal to volume of the bob. So I am using same way here into g. So what is common throughout? Divide by v. So we can write rho g prime. Rho g prime equals rho g minus sigma g. Further, you can write g prime as rho minus sigma, j is common, divided by rho. I am taking this rho to the denominator from left to right side. Now you have the effective acceleration due to gravity. Remember this expression for all the problems, this is important. Effective gravity when a bob is immersed in a liquid of density sigma and density of the bob is rho. You can substitute this value to calculate the time period. Time period equals 2 pi into root of L by G. Yes, correct. So what is this G? Effective acceleration. Here what is the effective acceleration? It is G prime. So I can write 2 pi into root L divided by G prime can be written as G into rho minus sigma whole divided by rho, or you can also write 2 pi into root of L by G, root of L by G into, so what happens here, rho by rho will be 1 minus sigma by rho, but it is given that sigma is what, rho by n, substitute that value. So 2 pi into root of L divided by G into 1 minus. So what do you get? So from this equation you can write sigma by rho equals 1 over n, correct? So here sigma by rho can be written as 1 over n. So option A is correct. Next question. A simple pendulum has a hollow sphere containing mercury suspended by means of a wire. If little mercury is drained off, the period of pendulum will become. Generally, we know that the time period of simple pendulum depends only on length of the pendulum and acceleration due to gravity, right? It is independent of mass, but what matters is effective length of the pendulum. Now in this problem what is given is there is a hollow bob and that is filled with mercury, and there is an opening at the bottom it is drained off slowly. The mercury is coming out of this bob as it oscillates. Now what happens to the time period? Will it change or remain same? Look at the effective length. So initially, where was the center of mass? When mercury was completely filled, center of mass of this bob is exactly at the geometric center. It's at this point. Now let me consider mercury is drained off. Now it is half filled. Therefore, where is the center of mass for this bob now? It is shifted from this point to below that. More mass is present at the bottom now. So effective length is increased. It was here before, now it is increased to the bottom. Therefore, time period increases. So which is the right option? It increases. The period of a simple pendulum is doubled when mass of the bob is doubled, its length is doubled, mass of the bob and length of the pendulum are doubled, length is made 4 times. Can you try answering this question? See, it is independent of the mass. So option A is wrong. Length is made 4 times, correct. C is also wrong as it involves mass. There are only two options, B and D. Yes, option D is correct as time period is root of L. T is proportional to root of L. So what do you get? If you square it, T squared is L. But they are saying period is doubled when. So this, let us say T changes to 2T. Therefore, new period will be 2T is proportional to some unknown length, say L prime. Square on both sides to get 4T squared is proportional to L prime. But what is T squared from this equation 1? T squared is proportional to L. So you can say 4L is proportional to L prime, or you can also say that length is increased 4 times.